need to accept who is really in charge of America. We need to know who they really are. Because those in charge aren't occupying the three branches of government we pay our taxes to maintain, and they clearly aren't representing the sanctity of free and fair elections after the Supreme Court just sunk the final knife into the back of our constitutional republic.
126 House Republicans and attorneys general from 17 other red states had urged the court to take the case, but the justices tonight rejected it, saying Texas has demonstrated no legal interest in how other states conduct their elections.
Mr. Trump accused the justices of, quote, letting us down, showing no wisdom and no courage. This after the court's 7-2 ruling rejected a push from Texas to block electors in 4 battleground states from voting in the Electoral College.
In rejecting the lawsuit, the court wrote, Texas has not demonstrated a judicially cognizable interest in the manner in which another state conducts its elections.
Meanwhile, the election fraud the establishment claims to be blind to is becoming increasingly creative and corrosive.
It's pretty simple. Those who have the responsibility and run for the job of making our laws must follow our laws.
OG, referencing Richard Bonton and Natasha Deming, one a real candidate, the other a fake one, who tried to claim she is a Latina woman named Natasha Ruiz.
The information contained in these documents is false.
Bonton and Deming ran in the Democratic primary for House District 142. The objective? Take out longtime incumbent Harold Dutton.
The intent was to defraud the voters in House District 142.
Approximately 2,500 people voted for Ruiz, forcing Representative Dutton into a runoff with another candidate.
As far as the charges go, there are 3 felonies.
Felonies for tampering with a government document, as well as misdemeanors for election fraud and perjury. But there's more. This man, Damian Jones, a Democratic political consultant, also charged. He's accused of threatening then state representative Gina Kalani of District 132 in an effort to keep her out of her race.
The texted threat was intended to coerce Representative Kalani into resigning and not running for re-election, which then would have opened up that House district.
And the GOP could have done a lot more to support our election integrity, but they didn't.
President Trump said recently a big win is coming in the state of Georgia. That's after he said a sham was underway there. Do you know what he's talking about?
No, I know that we are going to do a risk-limiting audit, which will trigger a full statewide recount.
This is the new America we are free falling into. The billionaires have increased their wealth by 30% in 2020, while middle America has been decimated.
This is Jeff Bezos. He is the richest person in the world. Back in 2017, he became the world's first centibillionaire. That's a net worth of $100 billion US. And having made tens of billions during the coronavirus pandemic, that figure's now a whole lot more.
How is that even possible?
It's incumbent upon all of us to recognize soberly that COVID-19 is not going away anytime soon.
The decision leaves Lamb and other business owners wondering how they'll survive. Like her, many have already exhausted their Paycheck Protection Program funds that helped them get through the first shutdown.
It's like we're jumping into a pool that doesn't have water.
A recipe for hyperinflation and an oncoming third world reality. This, as the incoming administration will ignore the needed recovery time and money needed to restore 60% of America's failing small businesses, but at the same time boasting the passing of a $12 trillion reparations package.
If you elected president, would you sign that bill if it came across your desk?
When I am elected president, I will sign that
bill. As the far left pushes them into a $10 to $100 trillion Green New Deal that will definitely put middle America in its grave.
Let's get a read on something else that's catching a lot of people's attention, this Green New Deal, that according to a guy who used to run the Congressional Budget Office, Douglas Phelps-Eakin, he put pen to paper, started crunching things with spreadsheets and all of that, and said it could be $93 trillion in all is said and done.
Look, FDR's New Deal sounded great. It created tons of jobs. This one proposed to do the same, but it sounded so expensive, and I just knew that it was going to be in the trillions. Now we know it's going to be possibly up to $93 trillion. So strategically speaking, the people who come out on the top on this are moderate Democrat presidential candidates like Klobuchar, who said, this is aspirational, but I don't know how we're going to get there.
It's no wonder that the calls for secession are gaining steam. The chairman of the Texas GOP, Allen West, released a statement on the court's decision saying, "This decision will have far-reaching ramifications for the future of our constitutional republic. Perhaps law-abiding states should bond together and form a union of states that will abide by the Constitution. An age of tyranny is upon us. Joe Biden will lead us into the Great Reset, reopen the border, and seriously restrict the Second Amendment. But it's likely that old Joe won't last through 2021 after leaks like this are championed by the corporocratic media."
A lot of people in our community are getting a little anxious because they are not seeing enough of the progress they thought they would have seen at this point. Let's not disappoint them, and let's not get to a place where voters in Georgia begin to second guess.
Let's get something straight. You shouldn't be disappointed. What I've done so far is more than anybody else has done this far. Okay? Number one. Number two, I mean what I say when I say it. I mean what I say when I say it. I'm the only person who's ever run on 3 platforms that I was told could not possibly win the election, and I never ceased from it. One was on restoring the soul of this country because of what I saw happen in Charlottesville. That was it. No one else was talking about it. The words of presidents matter. Nobody else, no progressive, was talking about it. I did.
Now that your vote has been debased through open fraud, you really have no other choice as an American other than to organize as a massive resistance against the Biden-Harris Chinese corporocratic insurgency that will be voted in by the Electoral College on Monday. John Bowne reporting.